They have been lying to you for so long about the health of the economy, and now the truth is coming out. What are you going to do about it? To be honest with you, if I say this is bad news, I'm absolutely not joking. And it's bad news. And I'm completely in disarray. Hold on. What the heck? Where did that thing go? Oh. You know, Ninja, this stuff's live. You're supposed to be taking this serious. Oh, crap. There just went that. Element of surprise. Completely gone. They don't pay me enough to be a financial newscaster. All right, we got a story, and this is very serious. It's something we've all been understanding for quite some time. I'm going to reject the cookies as we talk about job growth. Truth is, this just came out of CNBC. Job growth has been revised down by 911,000 through March. It's interesting, that number has 911, emergency. The economy is not doing well. And this is why a lot of us have been doing things like saving, getting out of debt, buying inflation hedges like gold, silver, and Bitcoin. By the way, if you still want that smoking deal on the course down below, the 2-course bundle for like 130 bucks, links down below. Try me out and see if you don't learn a ton and you understand what I'm trying to do to bring financial education to around the world. You can buy this anywhere in the world. It'll help you out if you're going to invest in cryptocurrency. Where do I start? Well, let's just start with this little story right here. The labor market created far fewer jobs than previously thought. Now, when we think about the labor market jobs, it's really important to understand there's a lot more to do with unemployment than just creating jobs. I'm all over the map right now. Some would think that the ninja's crazy, but I'm really not. When you think unemployment, think about this. Unemployment is from people losing their jobs, right? Well, when you talk about jobs not being added, that's fewer people that then can get a job that will eventually be going on unemployment or the government dole. It's really important to understand how this works. It says here, annual revisions to non-farm payroll data. Now, this is why it's really important, because we've talked about revisions for a long time, the last handful of years, and they usually happen the next month, right? They say, oh, the unemployment rate is 1%, and then they come out the next, let's say month. I'm just throwing out numbers, and they go, well, it's actually 1.1. But nobody's paying attention because they came out with those revision numbers like an hour later or 10 minutes later after they came out with that current month's data. So everyone's just looking at that current data because they want to trade stocks on it, but they're not paying attention to how bad it is last month and the month before. Now, these revisions of 911,000 jobs goes from March year over year. Okay, so this is pretty old data, and not a lot of people are going to understand or care, but you need to understand. Let me explain why in a second. It said here, this data revision for the year prior to March of 2025 showed a drop of 911,000 jobs from the initial estimates, according to preliminary report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The total revision was on the high end of Wall Street expectations, which ranged from a low of around 600 grand to as many as $1 million. The revisions were more than 50% higher than last year's adjustment and largest on record going back to 2002. And this is incredibly important. This should cause you to have one of those mouth drop moments. All right. Type 1 if you think the government's completely ineligible or not qualified to report numbers. Or type 2 if you think they're just straight up lying to you. The numbers, it says, which are adjusted from data in the quarterly census and reflect updated information on business openings and closings, add to evidence that the employment picture in the U.S. is weakening. Most of the time span for the report came from President Trump. Oh, I can't now. Thank you, Algo. You're not going to like this one. Took office, indicating the job picture was deteriorating before he began levying tariffs against U.S. trading partners. So I guess they're not going to be able to. No, they'll still use that info in the news. See, the news just wants to attack everything that's being done. It's like RFK not being able to get anything done with HHS or whatever it is because nobody wants to. Everyone likes getting paid off by a big crap. This video is going to be a hot button topic. Can you guys do me a favor? Because I'm going to talk frankly or honestly. Can you guys do me a favor? Type yes or no if it's okay. If you give me permission to talk frankly. And the reason why I have to ask that is because I'm also going to ask you one thing. Because I'm going to say some things. And I'm going to tell you something that's going on right now in the world, in social media, that most people don't understand. Can you do me a favor and just hit the subscribe button? I know it sounds crazy. And just comment something, because what's going to happen is this paradigm shift between an algorithm that wants to attack the truth, and then they're going to see a bunch of people subscribing and commenting and hitting the thumbs up, and the algo's not going to know what to do, okay? And then it's going to be so confused, it's crazy. The truth is, if I say the word Trump, I cannot pay Google to push out my video to other people. You know, that is absolutely 100% truth. That comes back and says, hey, your video is not eligible for advertising because, and I'm literally having to pay to get my stuff out now. This channel was the fastest growing channel. I'm not complaining, I'm not whining. God's blessing my channel so much because my sales and my financial education company have went up threefold as they took 80% of my views away. And it happened on one day when I warned everybody about this illness that did come true. I hit the country, the name, and when it was going to happen. Doesn't matter if you're right? But this is what's really happening. The government's hiding data. It's very important that you know this. And what happens is they control a lot of the media. And there are Congress people that are being paid by, and this is the key topic, pharmaceuticals, big pharmaceuticals, to fight RFK right now. It's all been published and it's out there. You can see where the algo doesn't want this video out. But it's the truth. And it's very scary. It should be very scary. Well, at the same time, what do you do about this? Well, there's a planned demolition of the economy. And what they want to do is they want to demolish it under this presidency, and they want to be able to blame him because there is a subsect of the population that are complete idiots. Type 10 if you agree with that. You're like, dude, trust me, Ninja, I get it. There are some complete morons out there. And sometimes they're just looking over your shoulder. You don't even know that they're there. And then before you know it, they're squawking into your backside. And you're like, what is going on? You can't make this crap up. But it's the truth. So what you do is you understand that this is going to be a controlled demolition of the economy while a president didn't have anything to do with it. And because the last president did everything he could to hide everything. Well, I don't see this, I don't see that, even to the point where he said, I'm going to change the definition of a recession. Now look, I've been an investor since 1998. I have never in my life read a book, an old newspaper clipping, anything. I've never seen anything in the news where a sitting president does that. I'm going to change the definition of recession to hide the fact of recession. And you're seeing where the Bureau of Labor Statistics can't count to save their life. But I believe it's not a mistake. It's done on purpose. So knowing all of this, as you have not been getting into more debt, or if you are, stop doing it. Get out of debt. Buy inflation hedges, gold, silver, Bitcoin, things like that, certain cryptocurrencies. Understand where we are as a nation and where our nation stands in the world as far as the dollar supremacy or lack thereof. The dollar index is falling. We have issues with our own currency. And the second that the Federal Reserve lowers rates, please understand that that actually devalues our currency in the eyes of other countries. Why? Because if they are going to get less of a rate of return, especially thinking that we might start printing even more or monetizing debt to save our own butts, they will have less incentive to hold our currency versus their own or another. Guys, if this is making sense to you, please do me a favor and just type 11. And if it's like this is a new concept, type 12, you're like, oh, I never thought of it that way. And the reason why I ask you that, not to pump up my self-esteem, trust me, I've already got issues. But my point being is that I want to wake the world up to reality. And the reality is you can't stop this crash, so take advantage of it. Lowering interest rates is going to increase inflation in all kinds of things. Yes, the stock market will go up. That is an inflation in the value of the stock market, even though it doesn't deserve it. Just like the dot-com bubble. It's going to raise the price of homes for a very little time because of a bunch of morons that will rush in and buy the lowest price homes, the lowest. The most expensive homes are collapsing, okay? So what will happen is you'll have an inflation in the median, but the lower end tier of home prices, and that will drive the media crazy, which will drive more morons crazy buying this stuff up. So you do short-term swings in the real estate market, you do a short-term swing in the stock market, but understand that those are very fragile because they're held up by only people's thoughts of if they're going to be worth more. I want to leave you with this. If you want to invest in crypto and you want to do it right and safely, I guarantee you those 2 courses down below that are linked down below that are super cheap are going to change the game for you. I only say that because I've been in this space for a very long time. I'm an early adopter. Everything that I've learned, the goods and the bads, myself and my partner Dylan put that course together, and it's stellar. Both those courses are one price. I don't know how long we're going to run that sale for, but we do want as many people as possible to take the good education, throw out all the bad and all the crap that all these social media people are telling you, and go win. Because if you win, I'm going to win more because my financial education company is going to get larger. That's actually how it works. My report card is your safety when it comes to money and your safety, your amount in your bank account as it goes up. All right, with that being said, the Economic Ninja is out. I don't know what all you guys are looking at. It's like there's something over my shoulder. Hit that button. Let's go.